Welcome to Ask Rich and Ed from Procurement Says No.
Woo.
We get a lot of listener questions, which we love to answer with insightful views and advice.
Ooh, nice.
Let's see what questions we've got this time, Ed.
Well, Rich, will they be insightful or fatuous or inane? Let's make it real.
Boom. Next question is from Polly Cracker in Seattle, USA. What's the best part of being a consultant, Ed? You loved being a consultant.
I did. Aside from the drinking and the parties in cities around the world. The thing that I noticed when I went from being in a line procurement role when I was about 28, the quality of people that I worked with.
Yeah, true. Everyone was smart and driven.
Yeah, and I know it's like a bit of a broad brush thing, but when I worked in industry, there were lots of great people, but there were lots of people that weren't so great.
Yes, that's true.
You might not like some of the people, you might not be your type of person, but what clearly they had was massive professional depth and integrity and were really strong. And I think that was a great learning for me. The great experience for me, the first couple of years, I just thought, wow, I can't believe I'm here.
How did you get the job there? Jeez, Louise. The opposite true, of course, if you work in where everyone's stupid.
Oh dear. The other great thing about being consultancy, no day was the same.
Yes.
You get challenged a lot. So if you like the sort of intellectual bit of be awkward with me, ask me a difficult question, I quite enjoy that. I like that cut and thrust.
Intellectual stimulation.
It's stressful though, I think sometimes.
Yeah.
Got some really awkward people asking you some really tough questions and it was a bit like, ooh. But the best, my little anecdote, I was asked to go and meet basically the CEO for breakfast. And I got to say that I was cacking myself, thinking, what, and I'm spamming up on all the procurement and doing some shop floor change and all that sort of stuff. I went into this meeting with him and he got some breakfast stuff out, croissants and coffee, and incredibly convivial. But he asked me a load of questions and they were all not to do with procurement. Mm-hmm. And it was just utterly bizarre. And he asked me loads of questions about HR. And I said, well, if it was me, I'd do it like this or do it like that. And
obviously respects your view.
No, I don't know what it was. Maybe he was just using me as a sounding board. It's sort of like, before I was dull and blunted, bright young thing.
The vast amount of experience that you get in a very short period, whether that's from clients or types of assignments or the teams you work, as you said, the teams you're working with, because most of the time people are pretty smart, pretty driven and know what they're talking about. And travel as well, as you mentioned earlier, the international travel was good, especially in the bigger firms with global reach. Let's go to New York. Let's go to Chicago. Let's go to Milan, etc. It was great.
8 months into PW, I went to Japan.
Yeah. Oh, yes, exactly. Yeah. 2 weeks in Japan, training with Kawasaki. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just like you've got to pinch yourself.
Yeah. Next one.
This is from London in the UK. Jamie Dodger. Can you bluff your way in consultancy? And have you ever been there when you're making it up as you go along? Well, clearly that's a question for you because that can't be for me.
And the answer is absolutely never. There are occasions when you're maybe 1 or 2 pages ahead of the client, but not often. When you first started, I remember my first assignment was all about supply chain and Kanban and stuff like that at a big jet manufacturer, and it was like, oh, you were the same, weren't you? It was like, oh shit, we need to spam up on this stuff because we're being asked difficult questions about Kanban and manufacturing lines and configuration and things like that. But yeah, as you said, we then went to Japan and learned all about it properly.
Yeah. So can you bluff your way in consultancy? I think so. When Rich and I were at Pricewaterhouse, we joined at around about the same time, and Rich went on to a particular job, and I went to a job at a design centre, major design centre for a company, and I was creating training material. And I'd really never, ever delivered a training course or created a training program. And I created training material on value engineering and value analysis.
Which is one of your specialist topics.
It is. It's what I studied, at school. And so my answer was, and this is, a long time ago before the internet were created, and I went to a bookstore, technical bookstore, and bought a book. And the 7 steps to Gage's value engineering approach, or value analysis, Gage's value analysis. And I learned it, and I created a training deck.
Wow. Whereas I bought a book called
Bluff Your Way in Consultancy.
I bought a book called Bluff Your Way in Consultancy by Nigel Viney, which is, I shall quote a piece from it because it's funny but true. It says, On no account must you make the mistake of supposing that you are the umpire in any contest taking place in senior management. You are a participant. The important thing for you is not to decide what the right course is, but which side is going to win. Prime objectives for the consultant, therefore, are to find out what the battle is all about, identify the two sides in the engagement, pinpoint the allegiance of all possible participants, decide which is the stronger side, and finally, write a report which recommends all of the courses that the stronger side favours.
That's why I never made partner, because I never did that. Did you?
No. And then the other one is, which I thought was good, is this. This is about employees at the top. Be wary of suggesting an increased number of directors. The managing director, chairman, or board of directors for whom you are working will certainly regard any suggestion of this kind as crass. They're the last people in the world who will countenance their own devaluation or adulteration by a watering down of their own status. There is only one way in which you can deal with this. This is when you suggest turning a department or a division into a subsidiary company.
No.
This works on several levels. There is a great deal of merit pleasing all concerns. The directors of the subsidiary company will be delighted at their own new status, whilst the original board of directors will be equally delighted as they have suddenly become main board directors. It's a great little book. Great little book.
We've just given a couple of our examples of how we can bluff your way. You can probably get through an area when there's no expertise on the client side and you learn the topic and become the expert. You can probably get away with that. But I think in terms of generally just bluffing your way as a consultant, because you're change agents, basically, I think, really, as a consultant.
You ain't going to last long.
You're not going to last long, and you will be fired by the consultancy, or what it used to have when we were at PW a long time ago again, but was sort of encouraged ETL policy.
Yes.
They wouldn't fire you. They just say, you should look for another job.
Yes. Jolly good. And that's it. Many questions answered for your delight and delectation on Procurement Says No. So we will see you all again next time for more. Bye.
Perfect. Bye, y'all.